Welcome to another episode of The Fence Show, ActiveYards edition. I am excited to introduce to you Rob Correo.
Thank you, Pete.
Of Jan Fence Company here in Pequannock, New Jersey. But we are on location today at a incredible new venture that you put together this year called
My Fence to Go.
My Fence to Go. Some of you out there have seen this in some video and some pictures that we put around on social media and all that. But I thought it'd be appropriate to come and talk to Rob and get some ideas of what he's doing and tell us the success of the store. So we're going to focus this interview primarily on My Fence to Go.
Thank you, Pete.
I'm fired up about being here because this is like I feel like I'm like in the life. It's like a vision, that you've been thinking about for so many years, and I feel like I'm living a dream walking into this store. So how's it going? How is the sales? How's the business? Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm actually ecstatic. It's better than what I thought. We opened. It was the end of April, and it's just literally we're probably doing deliveries daily. Getting anywhere, we're quoting probably 25 quotes per day.
Wow.
We started this year, it's our first year selling railings. That's been doing excellent. Little learning curve, but Ryan and Crystal's doing a great job with that.
Yep.
And we're probably selling a railing a week.
Railing job, yeah.
Yeah, railing job. But and I know for the last couple of years you've been pushing me towards the DIY. We started with Easy Fence to Go, but it never really went off, and I wanted to dedicate one store just for do-it-yourself. And I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what I feel like when I walk in here. I feel like I'm at, a professional, like let's say a tile shop or a carpet store.
Right.
It's very classy. The marketing is excellent. The prices, the sales people at the counter, the welcoming feel of the place. So what I love about it is being a fence guy, and everybody kind of knows my passion for people selling fence and not just digging holes. And we understand the restrictions that most people have at their regular fence company. But when you walk in here, you literally you feel like as a shopper, you can actually take your time, choose between wood and chain link, objectively, and vinyl and aluminum. Understand the different grades of all those types of products. And just listening to the salespeople, Crystal and Ryan, on the phone this morning, and then talking to customers, you really get the vibe that the customer seems to really value what they found here when they walk in the door. I mean, what type of feedback have you gotten from customers?
Well, Ryan's telling me one of the biggest feedback is compared to the big box store, the one-on-one. We have every type of fence, wood, chain link, vinyl, aluminum, instruction guides. Plus, we'll sit down and go over exactly. And they'll call us back with a question, we can answer it. You try going to the big box store, they say aisle 34 and they're stockade or whatever.
And you keep pressing that button.
Yeah. So, but the feedback's tremendous. They love to show them. They said it's really easy to see, to get the different options, and so customers love it, and again, the one-on-one experiences. That's what's.
My observation of it too is it's giving such respect to the fence business. I really feel, when I walk in here, and my wife and I came to visit a couple months ago, and she felt the same way, that she felt that she can, as a consumer, because we talked about it the whole way home, that as a consumer, she felt comfortable in the store, that she felt she could take her time to decide what she really wanted if she was in the market at the time for a fence or a railing. Right. And just like everything else that she buys, or we buy as a family for our home improvement products, we feel more comfortable touching and feeling things. So the showroom is a great thing. The second thing that it hits you is the name of My Fence to Go. There's no other ways to have to say, hey, we sell fence.
Right.
There's not a sign out front that says, DIY superstore. It doesn't have to say wholesale to the public. It doesn't have to say we sell materials, because it just says my fence to go.
Right, it tells it all.
Tells it all, and the shopping cart logo and all that. So from what you've told me, I think you've actually found yourself a little bit in the wholesale business unexpectedly a lot faster, meaning that you might have found a void. What's been that feedback?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of contractors. We're actually getting homeowners telling contractors to come here.
To where to buy their fence.
Yeah. And then the contractors are coming because they love it. Because again, that one-on-one, a lot of these guys are handyman, do it all, but they don't
have a supply line.
Yeah, and so we're giving them the instruction, and they can get it quick compared to the average Joe, just homeowner. So the contractors are coming back. Like again, the homeowners recommending the contractor to come here.
Right.
So it's
think of. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, think of the thousands of contractors that are, whether they're home improvement guys or deck builders and all that. If they have an opportunity to build a fence or sell a fence, what is really their option? For the most part, they have to go to a box store and pick up a fence, and they don't know the difference between a high quality or a low quality, or a price point product or a high end product, and they don't know about the other let's say wholesale distributors in the fence business. So to them, this is a dream come true, because they have someone that can make them look good by talking to the Crystal or Ryan at the counter. They get all the information, they have all the literature, they can go back to their customer. What do you think has been the top seller as far as whether it be from a category standpoint?
Vinyl.
Vinyl?
Yeah.
So it's and then as far as vinyl is concerned, one thing I did hear this morning that I thought was a really cool niche was the fact that they're getting quite a few calls on repairs, because a lot of people, don't have an option if the fence that they have, a tree fell on it or whatever. They call a fence company. They don't know how to do it. The fence company says, well, I can come out, give you a quote, but it's going to be $1,000, $2,000. But have you gotten feedback on the repair side?
Yeah, because of that last storm we had.
Oh.
I mean, and that's what backed up our installation for Jam Fence. That storm demolished everything.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to get the people, just come in here and fix it yourself, because like you said, to go out to replace 10 feet of this and 2 posts, the upcharge, the minimum, and so they can save, and they end up doing it, and
exactly.
we'll explain how to do it.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to be able to not only fix the problem they currently have and make a little bit of money in solving their problem, but also planting the seed for, hey, did you see, next year we'll be back and we'll do the fence around the pool, or we'll do something else, because they know that they were taken care of.
Yep.
But so I think that's a nice niche. Have you had people that have come in yet, and you basically they really like the shopping experience, but then they do want the fence to be installed by someone else, and maybe they don't have somebody, so they say, hey, do you guys refer, or does your other company, how do you marry the two together?
Yeah, well, people will come in, and if they say we want it installed, or do you install, we'll usually say our parent company, Jan Fence, will do the installation. So if they say, yeah, we just want it installed, we'll just send somebody from Jan Fence, go out, measure.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
What about the possibility of, hey, I just want to buy the fence, and then maybe I'll have you install it, but let me buy the fence myself here?
We didn't have it yet, but I know in prior years we had that. I'm going to do it myself. They go to dig one hole and they're like, forget it. Can you guys come? Yeah. So it's going to happen, because that's usually, they're like, I could put it up, and then they start digging, especially here. It's rocky. So they start digging 1 or 2 holes. They're like,
and you give up right away.
Yeah. So then again, we'll say, sure, we'll come out. Or actually, we'll know. Yeah. You got 30 holes. We'll figure out the labor, and that's it. So.
Do you know what the biggest job was that came out of here yet, dollar-wise? Do you have any large jobs yet?
That I got to talk to Ryan, but I know we had a couple big vinyls. I even had a large railing job. Dollar-wise. I got to ask.
Well, railing wise, from what I can tell with the showroom, is that very a consumer never gets a chance to see that. You know,
No.
to have 3 or 4 choices, 5, you know, of different styles,
Right.
and then have a chance to shop around with it and all that. So I think the railing will be a big part of the business. What were the challenges of the other trying to sell fence materials, whether it be wholesale or DIY, at your other locations? Why do you think this is so much more like obvious, or was it the other locations it just was too difficult to run 2 businesses in one place?
Well,
Or 2 mindsets might be.
yeah, I think it's more the mindset
Yeah.
because, and you even mentioned this, most people when they saw Jam Fence think we only install.
Yeah.
There's a handful, or we get more phone calls, do you sell? I mean, again, that's why this name just says it all.
Yeah.
They're going to know, like, My Fence Go, they're going to take it and do it. So going back, actually, when I became an ActiveYard dealer, you were the one saying, you're not even doing any DIY. And I was like, look, we're so busy with that. How am I going to handle it? So we started slowly. You guys came out Easy Fence Go. We dabbled, but we didn't put a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And then I just knew this had to be separate from
I
a
agree.
fence company. And you know, the way this worked out, this building came for sale.
Did a beautiful job renovating.
Put an offer in, and I just had the vision. I knew this had to be.
Yeah.
You know.
The interesting thing about the do-it-yourself market or the material sales market, and the reason why we share a lot of information about that is obviously as a manufacturer we have a lot of outlets that involve DIY, and research showed about, I think last time I saw the research, I think about 6 or 7 years ago, that 40% of all fencing in basically nationwide, but you can use the Northeast as a benchmark, is installed by someone other than a professional fence company. And people always kind of challenge that with us, but then I always have to remind them, hey, look, we supply a lot of fence to other customers, other distributors, dealers, stores, etc. And they're not just 6x8 privacy fence, wood fence, stockade fence, the whole gamut. And I mean, I'm talking to the tune of thousands of truckloads a year, and so they're going somewhere. And with the challenge with the fence business, and this is the reason why we promote it, and we really promote it just to help our dealers recognize and get a piece of the action, and not just give it to somebody else. We promote it just simply because it's there, the market's there, and unfortunately, if you're focused on installing and running a regular fence company, you just don't have the time to slow down.
No. Yeah,
and this allows you to actually have it's almost like, this is like it. I feel like it. You'd have to be here to appreciate this, but I feel like we're inside a website. I mean, I really feel like we're inside a website. This is a virtual website because people have done nice jobs with places like this online, but it's still online, Whereas this, I feel like it's like, I can touch it, and it's right in front of us. So it's an amazing thing. What has been the biggest challenge so far with getting this thing up and running?
Well, basically we started all the construction because the construction took a little bit longer because of the winter, but still I was ready and open for the spring.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we opened up and it
away.
Took off. In the beginning, and one of the reasons why going back to DIY versus having your Jam Fence installation store, I was always like, is this going to hurt Jam Fence? It did not. If anything, it
helps.
It helps. And I was worried putting the prices on. Yeah. People are going to, wait, that's $90. Wait, you're charging, but that's, Yeah, and if you do the math, because that's what we would sell it plus the labor. Yeah. So
it's consistent. If you and it allows, like, what I like about the pricing, I've always talked about it, is it allows someone to shop. So a lay person, meaning someone not from the fence business, maybe never knew that an aluminum fence, cost less than a vinyl fence.
Right. At least they can compare.
Now they could actually see, because they might have ruled out aluminum fence thinking it was some fancy thing that the rich people on the other side of town got.
Right.
And the people in my neighborhood have plastic fence or vinyl fences they might be referring to. So I think pricing gives people proportion.
Big plus.
Yeah,
That was
and I
a
think
big
that
plus.
helps. And at the end of the day, there's so much opportunity to either discount or to actually look for added value in terms of upselling with posts and post caps
Right,
and gates and all
right.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the store.
Thank
I'm
you.
totally fired up about it. Just a couple other quick questions since I have you here. Just generally speaking, from a Jan Fence perspective and from your experience with ActiveYards, how would you describe, maybe in a couple of words, what your experience has been over the past 9-10 years with ActiveYards?
The thing that really just is the biggest highlight is how you guys are always looking ahead. It's like I've been in this business for years and I've never dealt with a wholesaler or a manufacturer that's constantly changing the game.
Yeah.
And always looking, for the next best thing. And when we first started out, it was tough because, I was using X brand, I went to this. So that transition at first, it was a little hard because we're so used to using that and this.
Yeah.
But I tell you, but again, when there's a problem, which we had some problems, you guys fix it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think the relationship that I've always striven for with ActiveYards, and you've been, we always joked about how you were always the first one to hit every problem we had.
Yeah.
Because you were the most successful in the early years, and as we were building the business. But essentially, the way that we always looked at it is, look, we're just a manufacturer of, lack of a better description, black and white fence, right?
Yeah.
And I felt, and I think all the people as part of our team from the very beginning felt, that the key to ActiveYards was going to be that we had to show an appreciation for the people that buy their fence from us, because you can buy technically what we sell from everybody. And we felt that if we were going to get somebody to be partners with us, then the idea would be that we would try to do everything we can to give back for that loyalty and the commitment. And so the forward thinking, the way that I've always looked at that, and it's almost like consulting. It's like free marketing, free consulting advice and things like that, and challenging people. And some people aren't ready to do some of the things that we want to do. Like you weren't ready for selling materials 5 years ago or 6 years ago. But I would always come in and we would say, hey, look, this is what this guy down the street's doing, or the guy in Florida's doing. And then you're like, in time, I can see that happening. But Jan Fence has been, just an amazing partner with our business, and the commitment that you guys have made over the years from your sales team and all that stuff, the support teams, the people in the yard. We've gotten better over the years simply because of a lot of the feedback that we've gotten from you.
Well, you also valued our opinion. You let us express, look, why don't you do this? And a lot of times you took, other manufacturers, they're like, look, it's this way or no way.
Well, it's hard.
It is, but that was a big plus because we worked together.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the patience, of the growth, and I think the payoff is just starting to come together over the next couple years. You'll see the combination of when you have your architectural specification programs going, you got your builder programs going, and ActiveYards is part of that. You've got your your My Fence to Go store, your website, your Jan Fence showroom, your operations center. All these things all of a sudden now are kind of like, wow, that's one solid foundation. Because I think that what I like Jan Fence is that you built your business on such a solid foundation. So for 20 years, you built the business a certain way. And then you bought the fancy buildings and the fancy showrooms. A lot of guys kind of shortcut that.
Yeah.
And so I think this is almost like your next layer. So you got the foundation, then the next layer, the next building, your growth, and then now, what's out there? What can we play with? And this is exciting that you're taking advantage of it. And we appreciate your commitment to it. So what challenges do you have, as far as the overall business this year? Anything that's been challenging for you? Not on your supply line,
no,
but as far as
it's funny, and it's going to sound crazy, is the demand. We cannot keep up. We are a solid 7 weeks backed up with 15 crews, 6 days a week.
That's amazing.
And cannot keep up. So it's frustrating because new customers are calling and they want like an $8,000 chopper. Saying, I'm sorry, like maybe 6 weeks, but something like.
What's the lead time of getting to an estimate?
Right now, about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things you can use this store for, Rob, is to tell people, say, listen, we're really backed up, but what I suggest you to do is come into our showroom. We have a showroom right over, on Route 23. It's called My Fence to Go. You can come in. You can kind of like, take your time. You can shop. You can get the ball rolling faster.
Yeah.
And then they can shop, because the idea of losing that momentum of someone who needs a fence and turning them off with the long thing. Most regular companies have to do that, but you have so much resources that you could literally say, hey, no problem. You want to wait 2.5 weeks, or you can get the ball rolling today.
Right.
Come on in, see Ryan, see Crystal, get the ball rolling. You can exercise a couple other options with installation, but if you want to wait for us, at least you'll have everything all laid out and ready to go. So
I mean, look, this is the thing we wish for, being so busy. Now we're so busy. It's all, but
it's crazy.
It's especially in northern New Jersey. Yeah. Basically, we got April to December.
Yeah.
And that's it.
April to September in some cases. People. Well, it's funny because it's a very seasonal business, and I think that having a store like this, it allows you to maximize your sales when people want to buy it.
Right.
It's I live in a shore town, so all winter long I watch all these businesses that are closed. The bagel shop, or they're open, but they're not. There's one guy working in it. You got the bagel shop, the ice cream store is closed. You got the restaurant with 2 people in it, and they're just kind of dormant. And I'm always amazed on how, like, for example, the other day I literally had to walk out of my bagel shop because they wanted me to take a number, and I was like, "This is my bagel shop. I own this place. I live right across the street." And so it was so crowded, and I'm so amazed with how they're ready to do it. There's 6 people at each behind, one person behind 6 different cash registers. There's 6 people over making the bagels and doing the sandwiches. There's a system of supply of the coffee. There's a van out front that's constantly moving the bagels from the bakery to this store. Wow. And so in other words, they're really positioned to capitalize while the fish are biting, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think what this is it's a way of saying, hey, you know what? We only got 4 or 5 months to really market and sell the heck out of fence, and I can't just do it one way anymore. And now we have a second way of doing it. And I think that this is what I've been talking about for so many years with Fence to Go, and now with My Fence to Go, is it gives you the ability to to really capitalize on selling as much fence as possible when the fish are biting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, so listen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks for having us up today. We're going to take a nice tour and take a look, get some more stuff on video to share with other people. But thanks so much for it, and congratulations.
Thank you, Pete.
I, bottom of my heart, appreciate your commitment to ActiveYards.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
All right.